afternoon. Welcome to our show. I'm your host, Melissa Ridgen, and I'm so glad that you are tuning in to what I guarantee will be an entertaining show filled with some incredibly talented Indigenous creators as we put native TikTok, as it's called, in focus. TikTok is an app giant you cannot escape over the past 2 years. Even if you're not actually on the app, chances are you've seen a TikTok shared on other social media or even in the news. Well, within that app is a booming community hashtagged as native TikTok. And in that community, some of the funniest, brightest, and most talented content creators around. And we have some of the best ones on here for you today. It is, of course, a call-in show. If you want to share your favorite TikToker, you give us a shout. Toll-free, 1-877-647-2786. Let's get started with one of our very favorites, Sherry McKay. This TikTok of hers blew up after Indian country was rightly miffed at CNN calling us something else during the U.S. elections, while CNN was breaking down Black, Hispanic, and then, bizarrely, something else voters. Take a look.
So for those of you that don't know what something else is, it's right there, and they're referring to Indigenous people. From an Indigenous perspective, it's kind of shitty because it further feeds the narrative that we are invisible. But I want to share a few things with you. You said you were Indigenous? I said I was something else. Happy something else month, relative. What ethnicity are you? Something else. Strong, resilient, something else. Something else is now being replaced with something deadly. This is what I'm talking about. By changing the narrative. I'm sorry, I seen this picture and you are gorgeous and I had to share it. Your name for the football team? The something else's. And of course, it's a good day to be something else. And that's just one of the 1,000 reasons why I love being Indigenous. Because we're resilient.
She always has us cracking up. Well, before we meet her, I want to show you one of her TikToking about actual native TikTok in general and the role that it has in Indian country and for her personally. Take a look.
If I'm on your For You page and maybe you've never seen my face before, can I take 59 seconds of your time today? As a content creator who primarily focuses on Indigenous issues and comedy, I know I limit myself on this app. My content isn't generalized and doesn't speak to a huge audience, but the audience it does speak to really means a lot to me. As an Indigenous person, I know that a lot of people out there respect and love Indigenous culture and the beauty of it, but sometimes when we open our mouths and when we talk about certain things regarding awareness, we're shut down and we're silenced. I know what it takes to get millions of followers and millions of views and to go viral, but that's not what's important to me. What's important to me is using my platform as a voice for Indigenous people to talk about some really important things. I've learned a lot of things myself on this app, and I feel like I'm a better person because of that. Indigenous culture is so beautiful to look at, but it's not enough to be seen. We need to be heard.
Joining us now is the one and only Sherry McKay. She has amassed a following of more than 340,000 on TikTok, many more on other social media platforms too, and more than 10 million likes for her videos. Sherry!
Hi.
I haven't seen you in a year. And I still fangirl. Every time I see one of your videos, I'm like, oh my God, there she is. So I want to know, how did you get started in TikTok and why? We'll go back before native TikTok hashtag became a thing, but you were doing it long before that. How and why?
It was kind of by accident. I noticed that there wasn't a large representation of Indigenous content specifically, and I kind of was like, wanted to do something about it. So creating sounds, and I was originally just fooling around on YouTube and came across a TikTok on YouTube, and I was like, I want to try that. And I had to like beg my daughter for a month for her to help me make a TikTok, because it's a complicated app. Like there's all these buttons and there's also like etiquette, and there's a bunch of like unforeseen rules that you don't know about when you first get on the app. And when someone uses your sound, I was like, hey man, that person stole my sound.
Okay, so these are important things to note, because I would never have, I don't personally TikTok. I have TikTok on my phone. My 10-year-old has the app and of course loves to go scrolling through for, things that 10-year-old boys find entertaining, but I would never know how to actually use it. So I'm glad that, and I'm going to ask you, because I know that you do how-tos. You've done like seminars for people who are interested to getting into it. So you can impart with them all of the things that you learned the hard way when you first started out.
Absolutely. And it keeps changing. So it's not like, you know, it's not all the same all the time. Like there's different trends, different, like, yeah, you definitely, like, etiquette is something that's really important to learn from the get-go. And it's tough.
What is the, because I mean, I see you on other social media too. What is it that you like about this particular platform?
I like that it has this ability, like within the algorithm, to show you content that you dig, but then also every once in a while show you stuff that you can learn, things that I would have never learned. You know, being Indigenous, that we have so many things in common with other Indigenous people across Turtle Island. For instance, the phrase deadly. A lot of people in like New Zealand use it the same way that we use it here. And I never knew that before, you know, like things like that I just learned from TikTok videos.
So, you know, going back to when you learned, was it, so you are a mother of 4, which I remember when I first found that out, I was like, there is no way. I would never have guessed. Because you're way too cool. I'm a mother of 1, and like, how somebody that cool got 4 kids? Oh my god! But you know, so you said one of your children was kind of helping you. How hard is it to get into? I mean, because I think once people start looking at TikTok, they're like, these are really cool. I might want to get into it. How easy is it to navigate, or do you need somebody to teach you? I guess.
It's kind of like a trial and error. You just make a video, you just experiment with it. And in the end, after you've recorded it and experimented, you don't have to post it. You can slap it in your drafts. You can post it privately so people don't see it if you're not 100% sure that's something you want to post. You know, if it's too embarrassing, or you're like, oh my gosh, my coworkers might see this or whatever. So like, it's just trial and error. And just there's also like tutorials on TikTok where people will show you how to use certain parts of the app. You just have to look for the hashtags.
Okay, I want to watch another one of your TikToks. This one is Freeze Face, which had me bust up a bunch. Your laugh is so contagious. So let's watch Freeze Face.
When you start telling your parents a story and then remember what happened was illegal. When you get tagged in freeze tag. When you just met someone and they start telling you some super intense personal stuff. When you rip open the shower this is your mom's naked butt. Okay, last one. When you're giving a presentation and someone says, speak up.
I loved the other one that I loved that I watched over and over again was how CNN how did something else ever come up on the board, right? And you are like, I don't know, just put something else. And the intern's like, okay, something else. I can't remember. I watched it a million times, and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed every single time. You have done TikTok workshops. Are you going to be doing, do you have any plans soon to do more?
Yeah, that was through the Indigenous Film Summit. But I want to do, like, independently. I would love to do more TikToks. And I have some future things with some other organizations where that is a component of a presentation that I'm doing in terms of like wellness and comedy and humor, and how those types of things can help us through these difficult times, and just utilizing that as an escape sometimes. And so that is definitely something that I would love to do independently on my own if there was enough interest.
Well, and people can always, of course, hit you up and say, hey, your TikToking is amazing. You should teach. And then you would presumably have a large crew wanting to participate in that workshop. I certainly would take it. I don't know that I'm wired necessarily for TikTok, but I would be willing to take a how-to, and then, if I fall flat on my face, I fall flat on my face. That's fine. We've got people here who know how to TikTok, including Savannah Kelly, APTN News, one of our social media people. She's going to be on here later. She can give us a little bit of tips as well. I want to talk to you about, Sherry, about native TikTok in particular, though. Who are your favorites on there?
This is always such a tough question for me because I literally I just discovered this new account this morning, and I can't remember the username, but hilarious stuff. But there's so many different categories, I guess, within native TikTok. So makeup, I love Silly Goose Kaylee, Indigenous Brie, Charming Beauty. Yeah, they do makeup, and I'm just man, I wish I could do makeup as fantastic as I'm okay at blending and stuff like that. And then there's also Miss More, and when she's dropping knowledge on people regarding Indigenous issues. Canadian dude,
I'll have to check that one.
Yeah, there's so many. I'm just off the top of my head. And then there's Mikey Harris.
Love Mikey Harris. We had Mikey Harris on just before Christmas with his Christmas jigging videos that are just insanity.
Yeah, man, that guy needs to get verified. They need to verify that guy ASAP. And then of course, Indigenous Baddie, and there's just literally so much. And Nietzsche House, hashtag Nietzsche House, all of the Nietzsche House creators.
Oh, I'll have to look for that. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
I want to, you were saying, there's so many different categories, it's talking about history and colonialism, talking about beauty, talking about culture, lots of funny, kind of res humor and stuff. One of my other favorites was, so they've got life hacks, of course. It's not just for Pinterest or YouTube. You can get life hacks on TikTok. Who knew? Let's take a look at one that you shared.
This life hack the other day, and we use a lot of cheese in my house. I'm sorry I can't tag the original person who posted this. I didn't save your video, I just needed to cut some cheese. Please ignore the mess in the background. I have 4 kids, and we are a family that loves cheese and goes through cheese a lot. I wasted a lot of saran wrap trying to preserve the rest of the cheese, and yes, I am missing a fingernail. It's in my pocket, don't worry. I'm not a professional at this. This is the first time I've actually done this. Like I said, I have 4 kids. The look on my face. And there you go, slap it back in the fridge. Voila.
I have to say, you have hundreds of thousands of followers, you have millions of likes. Has there been, have you got a shout out by somebody or a like or a follow by somebody that just had you losing your mind?
Yeah, Biff Naked.
What?
And I love Biff Naked. I've always loved Biff. My family has a connection to her. Anytime I did anything, I was Biff Naked. I was, her music really helped me out through some hard times when I was younger. And, she followed me on, she not retweeted. She posted one of my videos on her story, and I was just oh, I love.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, who doesn't love Biff Naked? You were saying too, and I do love that too about native TikTok. A lot of the young influencers are using their platforms to talk, there's the humor we love, but they also are tackling a lot of the, that trauma that we carry too. You address it too. And I love that too, to kind of break up I love your funny stuff, but then when I see, you hitting the serious too, I love that too. We're going to watch one of those right now and then talk about that.
Wanting to talk about this for a hot minute. There is so much drama going on this app right now. But one thing I want to talk about is the hate. I'm not talking about this to get any type of sympathy for myself, because I do get a lot of hate now, and I got a lot of hate back then when I first started too. Specifically for doing Indigenous content and looking like this. I remember when someone got a hold of my Snapchat. We're trying to talk about my experiences as an Indigenous woman based on the color of my skin. These comments, we took your land, haha. We get all this money. But remember, this is where I started. I know it's hard and sometimes it's hurtful. If you spend all of your energy focusing on the people that aren't there to support you, you're gonna miss out on opportunities for the people that are gonna love you. I still struggle with this too. I still get hate, but the love far outweighs the hate. And you can win every single time by not acknowledging those haters.
You know, do you feel that there's some sort of a, you're compelled, you have a responsibility to kind of take on things like that and give that sort of a message to the other young Indigenous TikTokers out there? Or is it just sort of cathartic for you to put it out there?
I'd say it's a combination of both. When things are happening within the Native TikTok community, people wait for me to address it or to talk about it and my perspective and my opinions on it. And, you know, when it comes to like the youth and maybe being bullied or being harassed, or because ultimately TikTok is a platform that anybody can join, they can comment, they can say anything they want. And it's really difficult to deal with if you've never dealt with any hate comments or racism or anything like that. And so it's definitely a 50-50 where I feel like because of my position on TikTok that I have to address certain things, but also, you know, I feel compelled personally as a mom and, you know, as a human that these are things that we need to talk about, just like mental health and all of these other things that need to be discussed.
Well, we love you and we appreciate all of the content that you put out there. We really do. And I can see why you would feel, I mean, you've got that platform, you've got that responsibility, and you entertain and you inform and you make us feel like we've got a really cool auntie that we can go and check in on every once in a while. So we're going to leave. We have to take a break. I'll say goodbye to you, Sherry. We're going to leave our guest just for a commercial break, but with one more Sherry McKay TikTok. Stay with us.
Join our conversation now. Call in toll free at 1-877-647-2786. Like us on Facebook on our APTN News page. Follow or tweet us at APTN InFocus. And send your thoughts to infocus@aptn.ca.
Welcome back. Sorry about the mix-up. Just before we went to break, I was going to show you another Sherry McKay video. We had a little bit of a technical glitch back there, and what you saw instead was a round dance video done by my next guest, this incredibly talented Two-Spirit Nakota Sioux TikToker based in Toronto, Kyran Potts. Here is another one of Kyran's videos. This is like part 2 to the round dance video that you saw just before the break. Take a look. We have to see that video 2 times now of the round dance. Kyran, you've got 82,000 followers. You have well over 1 million likes. for your content. We are just blown away that you could find time to join us today on short notice. We have been obsessed with you and your videos. We want to know, what is your inspiration?
Wow, thank you so much. First of all, thank you for having me. That's so sweet of you to say. I would say the inspiration for my videos is, like, for example, the anti-character that I play comes from a place of deep love, safety, nostalgia. I was raised by women in my family, and I got to experience that unique kind of res anti-vibe, which is so feminine and powerful and gentle, and yet it's so stern and funny and a little bit sassy too, you know? So I think that's why so many people relate to those videos, is because it's nice to see videos of people that grew up similarly to you, especially when you're an Indigenous person and there's not really much of it in popular media.
Is your anti-videos your favorites to do?
Actually, no. I would say the videos that I love to do are the videos where I'm just completely alone talking to the camera about mental health and healing and my journey as a Two-Spirit person.
We have one of those videos that we can share with our viewers here too. Let's watch.
If you're an Indigenous youth, a young person, and you're struggling with your mental health right now, or if you feel like giving up, I just want to let you know that I understand you. I've been there myself. And I want to remind you that yes, it's true, intergenerational trauma plays a huge part in our lives. So much pain and hurt has been passed down from generation to generation. But I want to remind you that you come from a strong line of beautiful, proud, brave people. And just as much as the intergenerational trauma has been passed down, so too has the bravery, the strength, the resilience, the perseverance. Tap into that when you're feeling low. You deserve to be here. The world would never be the same if you left. Tomorrow's going to be a beautiful day, and I hope that you're around to see it. I love it.
I feel like, you know, using your platform for messages like that are so important, and you're, you know, laid bare, and people can see that, you know, this person that they follow, they have so much respect for, that you entertain them, you make them laugh, you make them feel good. Then to see you take time out of your day to give a message like that. I mean, what sort of feedback do you get from people?
I think one of the biggest things is that people are so used to social media being others putting their best face forward at all times and being perfect, this idea of perfection. And I think the reason that it's so nice to see videos like that is because in a way we're kind of breaking that fourth wall, where it's like, you know what, I am a human just like you, and as much as people may say like, oh, I really idolize you, I look up to you, I don't take that identity on really of being like an influencer. It's just I want to express to the people that follow me and say that they look up to me that I'm just like them, and I struggle too, and I have those issues. And I think social media, and especially TikTok, can be such a great way to be able to give messages of hope like that.
Yeah. You know, and the community itself of native TikTok, I'm curious, you know, I didn't know. I mean, I'm not on TikTok. My son recently, I was just saying before the break, my son recently just put it on my phone. He's 10, you know, he can figure it out. I'm old. It's not intuitive to me to figure it out. But, you know, in researching for this show, we just discovered like this giant and growing community on native TikTok. I mean, what's your favorite thing that's happening in that community now? What kind of keeps you happy, motivates you, inspires you, you know, makes you feel good and warm in your soul?
Wow, just one thing?
Yeah, there's a lot in there, that's for sure.
Yeah, the thing I love about native TikTok is that the Indigenous folk there are able to take social media, which lacks representation for Indigenous people, and where there's little space for us to showcase who we are. They're able to take this space and create a community where there is none, and at the same time showcase and give representation to all the unique and diverse Indigenous groups that are in Turtle Island. So in that way, we're like dispelling this myth that Indigenous people are all the same. And on TikTok, you can show that like Indigenous people come in all shapes and colors and sizes, and we speak different languages and all that kind of stuff. That's my favorite part of native TikTok.
It's incredible. And just the talent out there. I want to go to another one of your videos. Actually, we'll do two of yours back to back if we can. We've got one about jigging, and then we have anti-doing dishes, or anti-dishes, which both of them are incredible. So we're going to watch both of those back to back, and then we'll come back here.
Hey guys, I'm a traditional Métis jigger, and I get a lot of comments asking me how I eat dinner, so I thought I'd show you. Come on, let's go. Ah, yeah, my favorite time, dinner time. Jig, 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 diddly, 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 diddly. Ah, get it, Kai? Diddly, 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 diddly. Making my way downtown, jigging fast, base is past, and I'm settlement bound. Diddly, diddly, dee, diddly, dee, diddly, 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 dee, diddly, dee, dee. Now, lucky for me, the Harvey's is only across the street, because, you know, is tired, but now we've arrived at our destination. Good, because we're getting hungry, working up a sweat, still on point. Go up to the lady, be like, yo, get me an anti-burger and a twisted tea, stat. Alright, hi tits.
Oh good, you're here. Astam. Let Auntie tell you something. Come here. I don't know who needs to hear this, but those dishes that you've been letting sit, yeah, they're done soaking now. Go do them. Hurry up. It's been 3 days.
What do your aunties think of these videos?
Oh, they love them.
I bet.
They like watching them. They laugh along with me. I think a lot of people get this misconception that I'm making fun of my aunties or something.
No, I didn't get that. I thought of it as a tribute. It's very much a tribute to the cool aunties out there.
They love those videos, and I'm keeping it real with things that I make in my videos. Those are direct quotes and actual real things that have happened.
One of the some of the anti videos, some of our favorite videos of yours, we could not play today to do them justice because it's a 2 p.m. show, and you know there's laws around salty language and stuff. But I would encourage everybody, if you think like that auntie, if you have an appreciation for good aunties and anti humor, you will want to go on Kyran and find the anti videos. Absolutely. I guess I want to say too, you know, is there something? What's next for you? Like, or do you look at like taking this to another level? Does it go beyond TikTok? Like, how does it? What are your thoughts on where you go from here?
Well, I have dreams and goals of my own outside of TikTok. TikTok is sort of one of those things that kind of just happened, and I wasn't really expecting for it to be anything, but now it's this part of my life, and I think that it's definitely helped to sort of unlock a passion of mine that I've always sort of had but didn't really take seriously until now, which is acting and script writing and being creative in that kind of a way where I'm in front of the camera just as much as I am behind it. So we'll see what the future holds. Maybe acting, maybe doing some writing, something like that. I
would hope that the future holds a whole lot of that for you, because there's so much talent that's very apparent in your TikToks, and I think that wherever you want to take that next is going to be good for all of us as we get to be consumers of it. Consume. You tell us a little bit about your life though now. I mean, this is you are a youth care worker, I understand, in Toronto. How do you hold down a job like that, and then this looks like a lot of time is put into content. I mean, I guess that's you go to work and you TikTok, and is that all you have happening in your life right now?
So yes, I am a youth worker. At the end of the day, my passion is always helping my community, especially as a Two-Spirit person in my community. One of my sacred roles for myself is to always be there for our young people and to be encouraging them and spreading hope and awareness for the different issues that they face. I'm very much an advocate for that community. In terms of my day job, there's a misconception that I'm putting a lot of effort into these videos. It's really not that much.
Really?
No, like posting one video, let's say for example the video about the dishes, that probably took me less than 5 minutes. So it's really not. Maybe I'm just lazy, but I don't do the whole big production and stuff like that. A lot of my videos are just original content of me talking in front of a camera. So it's literally as easy as it seems.
But the edits and stuff, you know, like I think what strikes me is as I go through TikTok, it's like, who even has these sort of skills? Like all these different shots and some of the edits, and then there's music on it. And I think, I mean, it would take me 3 days to make that happen. So I guess we watch people like you on TikTok and go, well, how do they even have the time? And is TikTok easier than what people might think it is? Like, is it easier than what it looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. I can actually help teach some people how to use TikTok. It's very user friendly, and I think people shouldn't be scared of all the different transitions and the music and the thises and the that's. There are external apps that can help do that for you with just a couple clicks of a button. So it's really takes a lot of the hard work out of it, and then you just import that video from those apps into TikTok, and voila.
Voila! I want to watch another one of your TikToks here. I'm not sure which one this is. We've got a couple more that we could show you. I loved that one so much. As earring obsessed gal myself, that one was really super well done. Spoke to me. It's like, yes, more. If you could have extended that by 5 more minutes and seen some more earrings, I would have been happy. So your time on TikTok, has there been somebody who's given you a shout out or a share or a follow that has blown your mind?
Yeah, actually, one of the persons whose videos you were sharing earlier, Sherry McKay, is an inspiration of mine and somebody that I'm friends with now because of TikTok. And they are really, really awesome with using their platform and uplifting the community and bringing people together. And so Sherry actually duets and shares a lot of my videos that she finds really funny. And I just think it's so sweet of her to laugh along with me and to share my videos with her larger platform.
We love Sherry. We love you. We're so thankful that you could take time to join us today. I will make sure that everybody has access to your, I don't know if you have another font to show where to find Kyran on TikTok. It's just at Kyran. Thank you for joining us.
Isnish Chimigwich, thank you so much for having me.
Coming up, one of APTN News' social media gurus, Savannah Kelly, joins us. And here's a look at a TikTok that she created of Mike Urbanski of Feast Bistro right here in Winnipeg, one of the chefs who would come on InFocus to share a recipe that he made especially for our audience, and then Savannah took and then turned it into a TikTok. Take a look.
Today, I'm actually going to show you my recipe, my own personal recipe I thought of. I'm calling it the Little Lost Bison. It's an infusion between our indigenous ingredients and an Italian-style dish. A little bit of salt and pepper, and a little bit of sweetgrass, and you just mix it all up. Well, just a shot. So, stick a little bit of garlic. Cream. So this is heavy cream. Add some parm. See, enough for flavor, that's it. Look at all that flavor. And boom. Throw that bad boy in there. Throw in the plates. Like that. And that way it builds up a nice and high. We'll see her.
Welcome back. I don't know where I'm supposed to be looking. Camera 3. Hey, welcome back. Joining me now is Savannah Kelly. She is Jesse Andrushko's partner in crime over doing social media for APTN News. Savannah, you spend your entire day, all day, on social media. This is your job.
Yeah.
And welcome, by the way. First time on. We have Jesse on here all the time on InFocus. This is your first time on InFocus.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Melissa.
Well, we're so glad you could join us. We want to know, you had mentioned TikTok is your favorite of the apps. And like you said, you are on social media all day. Why do you love TikTok so much?
So TikTok, like, not only is it like the fastest growing social media platform right now, like topping the charts in 2020, but it's got this kind of unique flavor to it that not a lot of other social media platforms have. So I'm still kind of learning about it myself because APTN News just joined TikTok in the last few months, but there's this really interesting way where people can post a video and anyone else can kind of like sample it, use the audio from it, use the same filters easily to kind of share their own content and add their own voice to the conversation that a retweet or a share on Facebook can't do.
So you are seeing, I mean, if you're on there all the time, you're seeing kind of like the craziest and the best of the best. Native TikTok, like that is just an incredible community. I'm shocked if you go on TikTok, search the hashtag native TikTok, and go through some of the videos that come up. Like the quality that you're seeing on there is mind blowing. Like it's just so many people have this creative streak that is. Like, I don't know, I feel a little inferior as I look at it. I'm like, I could never do anything like this. I'm just a nosy person. I'm not a really creative person. But do you go through this and find like, wow, we could use this to tell this news story? Because we're not just on there to entertain, right? Like there's a news component to what you're
Absolutely. And I find even we'll put out a TikTok kind of covering a story, and the fact that like a common courtesy on TikTok is to close caption your stuff because there's people that are hearing impaired on the app as well, so then they can kind of follow along. We will repost those TikToks on Twitter and Facebook and they'll blow up. So I think there's also something to be said for having text on video. But going back to what you said about seeing kind of like the polished creative things that people are creating, I think that's also something that needs to be said about TikTok is as long as you have a smartphone, like you can do video editing and content creation that before this app you might not be able to do unless you have editing software or like experience, education or whatever, where here it's kind of like a free market. Anyone with a cell phone and like a spark of creativity in them can create mind-blowing things.
Wow. How long did it take you to figure, like I've talked with this, with Sherry McKay earlier in the show a little bit about it, just because like, how do you even really get started and learn it? Like how intuitive is it? How long did it take you to get on and start kind of plunking around and figure out, oh, okay, and then actually create a TikTok?
Right, so it's actually very user-friendly, and one thing that I think is super helpful is your timeline's kind of divided into two things. So it's the people that you subscribe to, so for you, you're only gonna see those people. But I think a lot of the action of like learning how to use the app and getting the full experience is on the For You page. So depending on what things you're interacting with and what hashtags are associated with them, filters, audio, it will kind of feed you more of what you want.
Yeah.
And one thing that's also really cool is when you're learning, like you might not know what filters people are using, but it will say above the caption, and you, at the click of a button, you can see what the filter is, and within another click, you're using it. So it's not, yeah, it's kind of demystified in a way where if you see something cool, it's easy to figure out how they did it and start doing it yourself.
I'm going to start. I vow to do it tonight. Like, I know my son has always been interested in doing this. He has it on my phone. I look at it and I think, like, I don't know. But I mean, I guess I kind of felt like that with Instagram too, right? Like, I don't know how to use this. Not that I'm, really creative on my Instagram. I have pictures of food. Like, here's a picture of my cat sitting here, and it's like, oh, here's what I ate for dinner tonight. That's as inventive as I get on Instagram. But I'm going to go do it tonight and test it out just to see. But I want us to watch one now. We've got 3 TikToks that we've kind of compiled here together for you, just so you could get a little sampling of some of like the supremely interesting stuff that's out there.
Like that. We're gonna add. And when it's synchronized, it's gonna sound like.
Okay, so each
Okay. Yeah.
I can't breathe. Oh. Things in my native community that just make sense. Behind my mother's house is a sirloir or ice cellar. This cellar is basically a hole dug into the ground 20 feet below the surface of the tundra. This is where we preserve our whale, seal, caribou, any sort of native food really. This works because about 1 foot below the surface of the ground is permafrost, where the ground is permanently frozen throughout the year. This provides a storage big enough to keep food for the entire year, specifically where the crews keep their bowhead whale.
Captain. The Queen is coming.
To me. Like you were saying, like these things look so polished, and you look at something like that and think, well, I could never do it. And what you're saying is get on the app and start kind of messing around, and you see that it's actually way easier than it looks.
That's the best way to learn is to just jump in, and also there's so many trends. It's easy to kind of like jump in on something and chime in your 2 cents. But even like in this little compilation that we just watched, you're seeing a lot of different things. You're seeing cultural sharing. You're seeing like slice of life for Inuit communities. You're seeing transitions in people wearing like their traditional clothing. It's amazing to see.
And we are going to watch another one. This is a TikToker who is Dene Polynesian. Creates some incredible content. Take a look.
Let's make nsete, also known as kneel down bread. After you've gathered your corn and washed it, we're going to go ahead and cut that end off, and we're going to save the husks of the corn for later. After we remove the corn silk and rinse it, put that aside, we're going to go ahead and grab those husks we saved and rinse those as well. Ooh, look at that. Grab your corn, we're going to scrape that off into a big bowl. Traditionally, we ground the corn by stone, but we're using a blender today. And this is the consistency we're going for, not too chunky, not too creamy. Let's add some salt, mix that up, and if you're feeling edgy, you can add blue corn if you like. That looks so good. Put some of that mixture in the corn husk, fold the sides, then we're going to grab another piece and put it right on top. Then we're going to fold it, kind of like it's kneel down bread. Traditionally, this is cooked underground, but we're using an oven today, 400 degrees for 30 minutes, then flip and put it in for another 30 minutes until it's golden brown. Look at that. Thank you for watching. I'm going to teach you a little bit about Navajo moccasins. It is said our moccasins were given to us from the holy people. The soles of our moccasins represents our Mother Earth made of thick hide. The red deer skin on top of the moccasins represents our Father Sky. Together they are held by sinew, which represents lightning that connects the sky to earth. The wrapped leggings of the woman's moccasin, or kenzai, is to represent clouds. Our journey in life can be complicated with challenges and barriers put in front of us, and I was taught that the reason we wear our moccasins is a way for the holy people to recognize us and watch over us to bring strength, blessings, and protection. I hope you learned something new. Thank you for watching.
You and Jesse had compiled us a list of kind of like your favorites on TikTok. Some of the people who have like, the most impact and whatnot. We're gonna watch another one. This is Lenny Beadhands. Take a look.
Hey guys, I have a new challenge. Show me your beading needles that you are currently using. How bent are they? Here's mine. Not too bad, just a little wavy.
hard to believe when you say TikToking is easy after watching those two videos. So tell us, what goes into that? What goes into videos like that?
So yeah, first of all, you have to be a pretty good beater to get that second video pulled off. Like, that's just incredible artwork.
Yeah.
But the first video, you saw two people kind of side by side. So that's an example of a duet on TikTok. So the woman on the right, she was the one that had originally posted the video, kind of doing a call out like, hey, show me your beading needles. And then on the left, she joined in to show her like much wavier needles. So you can kind of see the original post and someone joining the conversation at the same time, which is really interesting.
And then then the second one of her, like the intricate beading, and it looked like it was rolling in reverse, and there was all these different like shots and stuff. That, to me, that looks like something that would take all day to make.
Oh, I'm sure it took her a long time to make, because like even like thinking about the hours that went into creating it, and she went right from like clipping it into starting to like the finished product. Definitely a lot of work, and like her camera work is honestly like very impressive as well, but you don't have to have that kind of fancy camera work to put something together that people are going to want to see. Sometimes just like a little slice of life shot can like explode.
And I think it was Sherry who was saying too, you don't, just because you're on there trying to mess around with it doesn't mean that that gets posted. Like, you could choose whether it's published, right? You can mess around and have a bunch of things saved in your draft, trying different things.
For sure.
Do you, is there a place that you, when you were learning how to TikTok, is there a place that you went on that app or elsewhere, I guess, to figure out some sort of shortcuts and tricks of the trade?
Honestly, it was just scrolling through, exploring it, kind of seeing everything that the app had to offer, seeing what native TikTok looked like, and just kind of like the different trends going on. Really, once you've scrolled it for like half an hour, you'll have a pretty good idea of how it works.
Really? Okay, I'm going to do that. Let's watch another. We have one more that we're going to show you. Is this Powwow Drive, I do believe, just cruising around through res. So, and that's exactly what you're talking about the closed captioning. You know, everybody can, so you can even sit and like presumably scroll around at home, or sorry, at work. Have it like turned down because you can read what's happening, right?
Totally. And one thing that I find interesting is, when you're putting that text on that video, even on Facebook, like before TikTok came out, like if I saw a video, I wouldn't turn on the audio, but if there was text, sometimes I would watch like a 10-minute long video without ever hearing a peep from it, just because of those words. So I think it's like really good to sort of draw people in.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. Okay, so native to, we would be remiss to not talk about Notorious Cree, who I think, even if you aren't on TikTok, you've seen Notorious Cree's videos. They've been shared all over the place on Facebook, Instagram, and whatnot. He was supposed to be with us today. We're not sure what happened with that, but he's got 2 million followers, more than 51 million likes for his content. We've got a little bit of it to share with you. I think that last one has to be kind of like the biggest of all the native TikToks, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that one has spawned so many trends, and you see all people wearing their different regalia, different cultural clothes. And what's interesting is also the audio from that one is sampled from another person's TikTok who had like done her singing. So it's kind of like two people's viral content coming together to create something amazing.
It's a little marriage.
Yeah, totally.
We love it. Okay, well, we are out of time. Thanks you, Savannah, for coming and sharing that with us. Thanks so much, of course, to Sherry McKay, Kyran Potts for walking us through the wonderful world of native TikTok. Thanks to all of you for joining us. Hopefully we've inspired you to get creating. Go find somebody to follow. There's so many amazing creators out there that we didn't know about. Now we do. Now you do. Get on TikTok. I'm going to do it tonight. I'm Melissa Ridgen. Have a great afternoon.